The Chicago Bears have one of the youngest rosters in the entire National Football League. I've been saying this for months now, but ESPN came out and ranked the top 10 best young rosters in football today, and the Bears came in at number 5 overall, one of the top 5 best young teams in the league. But today I wanted to talk about why I think we should have ranked higher on that list and talk about the youth on this roster. Let's go ahead and get right into it. As far as starters go, the Bears have only two over the age of 30, one on offense and one on defense. Those players are wide receiver Keenan Allen and free safety Kevin Byard. Both all pro players, both acquired this offseason to add some leadership and provide a veteran presence to the youth on this roster. On defense, the Bears have six starters, age 25 and under, with three other players coming between the ages of 26 and 27. So nine starters on defense are under the age of 27. A little bit more veteran presence with both DeMarcus Walker and Andrew Billings, who are both 29 years old, but we have young prospects behind both of those guys as well. Behind Andrew Billings, we have Zach Pickens and Keith Randolph. Behind DeMarcus Walker, we have Austin Booker, Dominique Robinson, and Jamry Chroma. Zach Pickens is just 22 years old. Austin Booker is just 21 years old. Even without counting those younger guys, the average age of this defense is just 26.1 years old. The youth is present all throughout our defense, but maybe even more so on the offensive side of the ball. We're just like on defense, there's only one starter over the age of 30, veteran Keenan Allen. The only other starter on offense over the age of 27, though, is center Coleman Shelton. And then Nate Davis joins him as the only other guy who is even 27 years old. So the offense only has three starters over the age of 26. Meanwhile, we have other younger players on the offense waiting in the wings, such as Tyler Scott, Karan Omegaji, Roshan Johnson, and even Tyson Bagent. Overall, the average age of the starters on this offense is 25.3 years old, the lowest it's been in the last decade or longer. I think Ryan Poles was wise in bringing in veterans on both sides of the ball to help our youth get better. Keenan Allen brings a ton of experience to help our offense. He will help our other receivers, and he will be a safety net for our rookie quarterback. Meanwhile, Kevin Byard will be invaluable for our young secondary, helping guys like Brisker, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, and others take their games to the next level. Ryan Poles has done a fantastic job. But now let's go ahead and compare this roster to some of the other best young rosters in the NFL. ESPN ranked the Houston Texans as the best young roster in football, with the Detroit Lions coming in second, the Ravens third, the Falcons fourth, and the Bears taking the number 5 spot. To me, I think we are easily among the top three, especially in talent under the age of 25 and talent under the age of 27. To me, I think we're easily among the top three in talent under the age of 25 and talent under the age of 27. The other two teams with loaded young rosters are the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions. I don't think you can argue with someone ranking any one of these three teams as the best young roster in the NFL. So let's look side by side at how much talent each one of these teams has that are under the age of 25. The Bears and the Texans' biggest advantage here is the youth at the quarterback position. CJ Stroud is just 23 years old, Caleb Williams is only 22 years old, and Jared Goff is 29 years old and will be 30 soon. But the Lions are absolutely loaded with young talent as well, maybe even more than the Chicago Bears. They have Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Aleem McNeil, James Houston, Jamison Williams, Terrion Arnold, and more, all under the age of 25 years old. A ton of top young talent. And then they have a couple of veteran leaders with Jared Goff, Taylor Decker, DJ Reader, and even center Frank Ragnow. The Lions roster is loaded with young talent and has a nice mix of veterans to top it off. The Texans might have an even better roster, but I think they lack the under age 25 talent that the Bears and Lions have, but it's pretty close. They aren't behind by much, but looking at the list side by side of guys under the age of 25, I'd probably take the guys on the Bears or the Lions over the Texans. Unless you put a heavyweight on quarterback, because I love CJ Stroud, but they also have Will Anderson and Derek Stingley, but they just don't have as much young talent, but also offer an intriguing mix of veterans with Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, Danielle Hunter, Laremy Tunzel, and Dalton Schultz. All three of these teams should be playoff contenders over the next decade or so, as long as the respective GMs keep up the good work. These rosters are loaded with talent. I'm fine ranking the Bears third behind these two, but personally, I may be a bit biased. I'd take the Bears roster over the Texans or Lions right now today. I think we are younger and have a higher ceiling with more upside. The Chicago Bears' future is in great hands with Ryan Poles and company. Now, before people go too crazy, though, it's hard to win right away with rosters this young, but the Texans and Lions both showed proof that it could happen last year. And when you combine that with the talent, athleticism, and excitement of this team's future, it's up there with the best in football. It's also important to remember we are mostly talking about the best young rosters in the NFL. Teams like the 49ers, Ravens, and Chiefs do have more talent overall. Also, the Bears do have a bit of an unfortunate disadvantage of being in the same division as the Lions, Packers, and Vikings. All three of those teams have a lot of young talent as well, and it could possibly be the toughest division in the NFL going forward. Okay, and then just to top it off at the end here, I got something for the stat nerds. So I already told you the average age of our starters on offense is 25.3, on defense is 26.1 years old. Now let me tell you what our average age would be on offense if you take out Keenan Allen. It goes down to 24.7 years old and would be one of the youngest in football. And if you don't count Kevin Byard on defense, that falls to 25.5 years old as far as an average on defense, and can get much younger if you sub in Zach Pickens and Austin Booker or a first round draft pick at defensive end next year. Our average age on defense drops to 24.1 years old or lower, giving us, in my opinion, one of the youngest and most talented rosters in the entire NFL. But just think back to a few years ago, how down everything seemed, and how our roster was filled with older, overpaid veterans. We didn't have many draft picks or young ascending talent on the roster. It was really gloom and doom for Chicago Bears fans. Things have really changed in just 2.5 years, and year three of the Ryan Poles regime should be much better. How do you guys think we feel stacked up against the Lions and Texans in terms of young talent? And how excited are you about this team's future? Let me know in the comments, guys. We're less than a week away from training camp. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.